If this music is any indicator, we're in for a lively Sunday. So here we go. Good morning and welcome to our service for Sunday, February the 19th, 2023. And greetings to all of our online family. We affirm the love and grace of God that connects us. And we're happy you've joined us today. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime online or in person. We're always glad to hear from you. On this first Sunday of Lent, we celebrate our Unity practice of freeing ourselves of limitations so that we can expand into something greater. We'll be talking about the process of renunciation, letting go. As we provide a space within us to be filled with divine purpose, we are grateful for the companions along the way that make the journey a little more meaningful. Today, let's talk about a more expansive version of Lent than we might have engaged with in the past, and it goes beyond the tradition that we've associated with Lent of deprivation. Let's go beyond that today. For now, let's stand together and join Julie Reagans, Curtis Bringle, Jeff Stocky, and Bruce Wayne as we sing our welcome song.
1, 2, 3, 4. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. Light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. I've been set free, I believe. I've been set free, I believe. Burden of my past has gone away at last. I've been set free, I believe. Sweet rain that washes me clean. Sweet rain that washes me clean. But in days always, to my life we pray. Sweet rain that washes me clean. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. Love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. Light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me.
Well, good morning. It's nice to see all your shiny faces in the sunshine today. Very nice. Would you please join me with our statement of faith? Together, there is only one presence, one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now, let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church. Together, we are an open-hearted spiritual community, powerfully transforming world by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission together. Inspired by our shared spiritual awakening, we offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. Today's daily word. This is a good one, people. Let go and let God. And the affirmation is, I bravely release outworn behaviors and embrace my bright, brilliant future. Holding on to what no longer serves me because it is familiar and I've grown accustomed to it and may stall my growth. I evolve much more quickly when I trust my guidance and release old patterns and behaviors. In my heart, I know that when I move away from a dysfunctional relationship, a negative attitude, or unhealthy way of living, I move towards something greater: peace, safety, harmony, freedom, and fulfillment. I let go of anxiety or fear and open myself to happiness and security. I breathe in freedom. My heart becomes buoyant and my steps lighter. I set my intention today to release anything I have been fearful of letting go, so that I can confidently move forward, open to infinite good. And from Matthew 18:18, truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. And now our gathering prayer with Michael Finn.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Good. Let's hear this vibration of this bowl. Feel it. Tap into it. Let it shake up any energy that's stagnant in you that you want to release, and let it go. Please take this moment to go inward and pray with me. So often in this life, we travel a road that we might have chose or been chosen for us. We stay on this road, even if it may not serve us. We realize that there's only one of us, but there is an infinite number of ways to go about life, for the divine presence is in us and all around us. We have choices, we have options to release what doesn't serve us anymore, to let go of old energy, and let new energy renew our lives, renew our spirits, renew our energy. Let any weights, any anchors, transmute to balloons, and let that energy be light and flow away from us. Out into the world, let any hurts turn into knowledge and understanding. Let any pain and suffering, any hate, turn into love. For our life is about expanding our energy, not expending it. And through you, God, the divine creator, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, we realize that it takes more energy to keep our hand closed. So we open it. We open it to you. We open it to the universe with trust, with faith, and love. And we go forth with this unbridled positivity, this unbridled good energy, and this love radiates from now into infinity. We know this, we live this, we are this, and so it is.
I'm letting go of some things in my life to focus on a better me. I want to be a better me. I'm not gonna shed no more tears at night. Moving on is a remedy. The past won't get the best of me. I won't cheat on my future with my past. Release the heavy weight off my back. Let the pain go away, strain go away, rain wash away my pain. Oh, I know if I want to grow, I got to let it go. I got to let it go. No, I won't me. I've got good times ahead of me. And I'm letting go of things that don't feel right. Well, I just want what's best for me. No more sadness inside of me. Oh, I won't cheat on my future with my past. Release the heavy weight off my back. Let the pain go away, strain go away, rain wash away my pain. Oh, letting go of anger, letting go of resentment, letting go of the story of what I can't. Let the pain go away, strain go away, rain wash it. Oh, oh, yeah, oh. If I want to grow, I got to let it go. Got to let it go. No, I won't be held back no more. I've got to let it go. I've got to let it go. I've got to let it go.
It's songs like that, sung that way, that give me the inspiration to do what we're talking about today, to do what I'm doing here today. So thank you. Thank you. Hi. So nice to see you all. So I don't know what you grew up with, but I grew up with the traditional idea of Lent. You know, you're going to give up something. That's the thing. What are you giving up for Lent? And that's the way I was taught. And part of my my younger years, I lived in parts of the country that had not predominantly a Protestant profile. I lived amongst a bunch of Catholics, and I lived amongst a bunch of Jewish people. And I know that for Catholics in particular, my public school ran out of room, and so they rented rooms from the Catholic school in the neighborhood. So that's where I went to elementary school, was with the Catholic kids. So lunch on Fridays was always fish sticks. And I don't eat fish sticks anymore. And it was always about giving up something. And so as I came into a greater spiritual understanding, began to practice spiritual principles in a different way, all those years ago, it became, well, maybe I am going to let go of something. I'll use the process of denial and then filling it in with affirmations, and then I'll have, And then it shifted over to, well, maybe I won't give up something. Maybe I'll take on a greater spiritual practice. Maybe I'll take on something that's better for me. Maybe I'll take on exercising for Lent only. And usually didn't make it to the end of that, so I didn't make it to Easter. But now it's a little more nuanced, and I think that's where all of us are. It's about looking a little more deeply with our spiritual intelligence about what it is that's holding us back, what it is we're holding on to that keeps us from moving forward in a way that's spiritually fulfilling. And listen, we are, by nature, creatures of habit. We enjoy doing things a certain way. We like our rituals. We like our routines. We like our certain foods. We like TV shows. But that also applies to the things that we do that aren't good for us, you know? And it's comfortable and it's familiar even if it's damaging. And it's that thing or two or six that we have in the back of our mind that's like, oh, one day I will get to that. One day I'll decide to quit doing this thing that is harmful to me, or maybe I shouldn't be doing. And then we have the argument with ourselves, well, it's not that bad, or I can quit any time, or you know how we do? That makes me tired. Just to think about the machinations that we go through to keep ourselves from growing. How crazy is that? And yet we are crazy people. And we do that. The other night, I had the opportunity, to me, once in a lifetime opportunity, and I saw Itzhak Perlman, the great, one in a century violinist. And oh my goodness, what a beautiful occasion that was. The Long Center was totally full. It was a sold out show. Such an appreciative bunch of people that were there. And of course, when he plays the violin, it transports you. You transcend, the next breath when you listen to him. And when he got to the very end of the program and played the theme from Schindler's List, could have heard a pin drop in that entire hall. It was just so beautiful. But if you listen to his story and the humor and the graciousness that he has when he is with a crowd of people, you realize that he gave up his idea of mobility when he was a child, when he got polio. And so any thoughts that he had about being an active youth were gone. I mean, he can, if you've seen any videos of him, most of the time he's in a wheelchair. He can walk around with braces and sticks, but it's difficult. So he gave up that idea of mobility, but all of his labor, all of his intention, all of his efforts went toward becoming a most exceptional violinist. And I would throw in also, he was probably born with an incredible gift that, if you're really dedicated to the practice, may never be as good as he is. He gave up a life in Tel Aviv to come to the United States, not knowing what it would be like, not knowing how he would earn money, how he would, as a very young person, teenager, how he and his mom were going to be supported in this journey. So you look at what he let go of, the idea of mobility, the idea of being an Israeli citizen for the rest of his life. He gave that up to become one of the most talented universal artists in the world. So his life was an inspiration, and to see it the day after Ash Wednesday was really remarkable. This whole journey, Unity has a little book, and I think, is our Wednesday night group studying this? We've got a little book from Unity called 40 Days of Letting Go. And so starting with Ash Wednesday, let's see. Ash Wednesday was I let go of anger. Thursday was I let go of anxiety. Friday was I let go of apathy. And yesterday was I let go of bitterness. So here, not even a week into the Lenten season, we're giving up anger, anxiety, apathy, and bitterness. Okay, just those things. Just add them to your list. Anger, anxiety, apathy, and bitterness. So I want to read you what today's reading says, because this first sentence says everything. We are always in the stark and beautiful movement of letting go of one thing, thought, or situation while being set free to a more excellent, deeper, and more expansive experience of ourselves. We are always in the stark and beautiful movement. I want you to think about stark and beautiful existing in the same place as the perfect oxymoron. Letting go is a learned action from a lifelong journey of self-acceptance, revealed as a process that evokes our trust in the messiness of living with some experiences of joy, sorrow, and disappointment wrapped up in a bit of love. Letting go is a process that invites us to affirm the truth of our being and trust the unfolding journey of being fully present in our thoughts, words, and deeds. To be inspired by the smallest of things, to overcome unforeseen challenges, and to let go of expectations that do not belong to us. Think about that one. That's a very subtle thing, isn't it? Expectations that do not belong to us. We're going to talk about the idea of, well, I didn't think life was going to look like this. This is not, when I got to this point in my life, I didn't think it would look this way. We learn to trust the movement of spirit creating the masterpiece that is you and me. Here's a little bitty example. This is a very minor example. So, you can drive around the whole central Texas area and see piles of, brush and limbs and, wood piles that are going to need a season to cure before you can burn them. And so I've been confused about who's picking up what when. Am I the only one that's it's just like, okay, what is Hayes County doing? What is Driftwood doing? What is Rimrock POA doing? And so I finally just put out a thing the other day. I was like, well, I don't think Rimrock is coming to pick up my stuff. I don't have a trailer. I've already paid to have some of my limbs cut. The rest is going to happen whenever the service gets to it. But I've got this brush pile out by my mailbox. I thought, well, okay. I'm just going to put it out there and see if there's somebody available. And sure enough, I got a couple of people that said I'd be happy to come haul off your brush for this exorbitant amount of money. And I mean, oh, yeah, supply and demand is at work. And so I saw my next door neighbor, who also has a brush pile between my mailbox and his. He was out working in the yard yesterday. And so I walked out to him, and I was just about to say, hey, I'm going to get a couple of bids here. I've got one price in already for somebody to haul off the brush. Would you like to include your brush pile in my brush pile? Before I could open my mouth, he said, hey, I've been meaning to come over and tell you, I bought a chipper that's going to be delivered on Tuesday, and I thought I'd chip up your brush pile for you. I said, okay, I owe you a pie, man. That's great. So I let go of the idea that somebody was going to rescue my brush pile, and I took some action for myself, and in doing so, opened up this beautiful flow between my neighbor and me. And I was willing to be, generous and helpful. And I got back way more than I expected. So that's just one small example about the way we fight against things, the expectations we hold, the things we think we're entitled to. Did anybody besides me have that thought? Well, it's not my fault that the trees broke. It's not my fault that I don't have a trailer. It's not my fault. Just see if you ever use that for any reason whatsoever. So in that moment of letting go of any discouragement, any entitlement, any reluctance to take action, and letting go of all that, something beautiful happened. I would venture to guess that most of us can look backwards in our lives And so, I let go of that thing and look at this beautiful thing that happened. But somehow, that doesn't translate to the now and the future. We can have examples of what letting go and then receiving the gift from letting go. We've got examples from that in our past, and yet we still hesitate to let go of something that we're holding on to so tightly, knowing that there is a promise to be fulfilled on the other side of it. And so when I say let go and let God, that's not in Scripture. I'm just telling you right now, don't go looking for let go and let God. We humans kind of made that up, but we made up a lot of the stuff in the Scripture anyway, didn't we? I'll just say. Humans did that. Humans used that incorrectly. Humans use that to harm other people, to make ourselves guilty, to make other people guilty, to make other people wrong, and to scare ourselves into heaven. I'm letting go of that one forever and ever and ever and ever. So it's especially relevant in the recovery community. Let go and let God. Now, as you can imagine, because recovery is a universal issue, not everybody identifies with God. Not everybody identifies with Allah. What do you do if you're a native of India and you hear about AA? Your whole idea has to shift, doesn't it? When you think about somebody who doesn't practice the Judeo-Christian religion. Your higher power can be whatever it is that you feel like is greater than you are, that represents to you love, unconditional acceptance, and a higher way of being. I heard somebody in AA say that their higher power for them when they first got in recovery was their golden retriever. Yeah, I get that. I would trust a golden retriever over some human beings. You know what I mean? But if that golden retriever is the thing that pulls out the desire in you to live your best life, then the golden retriever it is. So you have to define what your idea of your higher power, of your God, is. No matter your religious upbringing or lack thereof, no matter what your persuasion is from your culture, whatever your higher power is not also something outside of yourself. It can be, it starts that way, but in the end, it is what represents that which is already inside you. Maybe hidden from you, maybe unexpressed as of yet. But that thing that you are saying, there is something that can handle my life better than I am currently at this moment. There is that urge inside us, that nobility, if you will, that dignity. All of those characteristics that we assign to a higher spiritual life already existing. And we are, by golly, fighting our way through the fog to see that, to identify with it, to live it. So it's okay if your God is the transcendent God outside of yourself. It's okay if the God that you identify with is just the immanent God that lives in you. It's okay if it's both. Whatever it is that you say, yes, that is a higher way. That calls to me at my deepest levels. That's what we're surrendering to. Because unless we've been so beaten down by life that we think there is no hope for us, When we get to that point in our lives, have you not discovered that that's the point at which you find some spark that pulls you up out of that darkness? What is that thing? That's God. That is a divine force. That is something that is greater than our emotional intelligence, which is sometimes a little broken. It's greater than our intellectual intelligence, because that is not a requirement for a spiritual foundation. It's not about what we have or don't have materially. It's not about whether or not we consider ourselves saved. It's about that in us which is greater and purer and always present. That's what we're giving up. That's what we're surrendering to. That's what we're letting go to in order to live at a little bit more elevated and comfortable level for ourselves. So if you've got something that's making you miserable today, anything, anybody got anything making them just a little bit miserable today, anything at all? You know, you can answer silently. It's fine. You don't have to out yourself. Yep, miserable. If you've got anything that's making you a little bit miserable today, don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, well, I have to see what it looks like before I can let go. Because most of the time we don't get that vision. We can look back and say, oh, yeah, when I let go of that, I had this. And I didn't know it was coming. But don't fool yourself into thinking you have to know what the solution looks like before you give up the thing to its remedy. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many metaphors for that. The one I always think of is the trapeze thing, where you're letting go. You watch trapeze artists that lets go of one bar, and there's a moment before they grasp the other one. And in that in-between, there is the idea that there's enough momentum already in place to take you to safety. I propose to you that you already have enough momentum that when, not if, when you let go of that which makes you miserable, you are on your way to safety. Okay? Now I'm going to give you an example that's kind of humorous, but I think it'll stick. I just found out this week from my children that there's a certain type of crab. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you? There's a certain type of crab that when it fights with another crab and loses, the way it demonstrates its surrender to its opponent is it takes one of its own arms off. And I've seen videos. Crab loses the fight. Crab does this, pulls its arm off and lays it down, scuttles off sideways. One of my sons said he saw this at the Dallas Aquarium. And he said, in the tank where all these crabs were, you just saw these piles of legs. Now, the crab will grow back a new leg. Good news. I got to think it's not going to be exactly like the one before, because nature has its way. But I would just ask you today, if you're ready to pull off one of your legs and lay it down and say, okay, I'm done with this fight, you win. And it's going to be it might be a little bit before you get a new leg grown back in. I love that story. Now, I just want to add that the victor crab, he doesn't do anything with the leg. I mean, that's not the thing. It's just a signal, okay, fight's over, you win. So I would just ask you today, where in your life can you say, okay, fight's over, you win, here's my leg? Yeah, I don't know if you heard it just now, but I heard a collective sigh in the room just now. This isn't about, this isn't about self-improvement, although that is probably a result. This isn't about a quick fix, although it might be. This is about digging down to those things that we have habitually held on to so tightly and we've identified with so strongly that the thought of giving that up terrifies us. Okay? I'm talking about that stuff. Where you feel like if you give this thing up, you're going to be looking into a yawning void and not know what to do with yourself. Beloved, I promise you that if your heart is already calling you to give up something, to let go of something that doesn't work for you anymore, then it's time. And I would guess that a lot of the time for us, it has to do with how we are in relationships, who we think we can control with our love, who we need to let go of because it's no longer healthy for us. It doesn't bring joy and fulfillment. It's about how we give up our expectations on other people. And beloved, this is the time when the golden rule is so effective. Are you willing to give to other people that which you desire for yourself? If you desire a life in which there are no undue expectations on you, are you willing to give up the undue expectations that you have of others? If you do not want someone controlling you with their thoughts, words, and actions, are you willing to give up, to let go of your need to control others with your thoughts, words, and actions? This is the real stuff. And here is the measure that I suggest you look at it with. Notice how much energy you might expend on that thing that it's time to let go of. Notice how many imaginary conversations you have in your head with the other person. And it doesn't matter if it's someone closest to you or some politician you don't like. You see, it's about that conversation. It's about that use of your energy. It's about using up all your juice over something for which there is no return. See where you're spending your energy. Even if you are in the midst of having to do something very difficult in your life, and many of you are caring for loved ones who are sick, who have mental health issues, who have addiction issues, who have declining cognitive skills, whatever you're dealing with in your life right now. There's a subtlety about giving up the energy that you spin around it. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is a way for us to be lovingly detached from even those about whom we are in direct care of, so that our love and our care comes from a place that is greater than those human emotions that use up our energy. There is a way that we can be caregivers to others, that we can be involved in people's lives in a way that is healthy and calm and loving, and that we're able to step back from because we have that energy in us as well that is from God. Another question you can ask yourself is, am I trying to do this all by my own power, or am I enlisting power of Spirit with me? That's another question you can ask yourself. Because I guarantee you that if you're saying, gosh, I need something greater than myself to carry me through this, to lift me up, if you say those words, that will be there for you, even in your times of your greatest exhaustion. And I'm saying that specifically to you today because I know that so many of you, so many of us, are dealing with those things in our lives right now. So give yourself the gift of letting go of that which depletes you, so that you have room to know the fullness of Spirit, to know the fullness of calm and joy, of embracing the sweetness and the difficulty all at the same time. Do you know that within a span of about 60 days, I'm going to be blessing new members into this church? I'm going to be blessing, I know of at least 4 children that I'm going to be blessing. I'm also going to be doing memorial service for 2 beloved people. And there is that which keeps the joy in balance with the sorrow, so that all of it is just that sweet ache of life. You keep those words if you want to, the sweet ache of life. And if you're feeling that at any moment, know that you're living your life fully. When joy and sorrow are holding hands with each other, when the easiness and the difficulty are holding hands with each other, when the darkness and the light are holding hands with each other, when the renewal and the fatigue hold hands with each other, that's a rich life, my friends. And so, yes, during this time of Lent, we're going to focus on things like anger, anxiety, what were the other 2? Apathy and bitterness. You know, what we're letting go of can have a whole lot of different faces, because I'll tell you what, we got a whole booklet full of them. Let's see, we got doubt, discouragement, darkness, discontent, complaining, criticism. Shall I go on? Indecision, insecurity, judgment, resistance. But don't be afraid to name a thing so that you can let go of it. Don't be afraid to name a thing and say, there's something better than this. I'm willing to, like Finn said in his meditation today, it takes more energy to do this than it does to do this. So as we meditate today, let your hands be open. Let your hands be open. Because you are letting go with one, and you are embracing with the other. And you can use that as a body exercise if you so desire, with your hands open. What is it you're letting go of? And is this other hand open to what is on its way to fill up that space and more? Breathe, beloved. This doesn't have to be hard, but some days it will feel that way. And beloved, I can promise you that however long your struggle has lasted, the time of fulfillment will come suddenly and not take as long to fulfill you as the period of suffering took to manifest. And if letting go brings to you some fear or anxiety, then go ahead and put it in a pile of letting go. Let go of your fear and anxiety, so that as you let God, you are letting love and ease and joy and clarity take its place. You see, beloved, as we go through this process of letting go and letting God, we do so without judgment or condemnation upon ourselves. If we're experiencing those, then we let go of them. As you let go, you may have tears and grief. And know that coming right behind it is comfort. And here in this room, here in the sound of my voice, are companions whose very presence and very intention strengthens yours. So you are not alone. You have allies and confidants and companions. And we can lend each other courage. We can lend each other compassion. We can lend each other confidence and celebration. It may help in your mind's eye as you think about that which you're willing to let go of today, to imagine your most beloved friend standing before you, and you're saying to them, this feels kind of hard, but I'm letting go of this. And your beloved friend says, I hear you, I see you. I applaud your strength. I see your courage. I support that which is new and fresh that is coming to replace that you're releasing. And beloved, if you can imagine that, you've already imagined God. You've imagined the very Spirit that has created you and is holding your highest good always and always. And as with all things that move us forward, move us higher in our spiritual life, we give thanks. We give thanks, yes, even for the difficulty, because along with it is that courage and that willingness. Thank you, God. Give thanks for your tender and brave heart. Give thanks for your companions near and far that journey with you. And so it is. And so it is, and so it is. Thank you, all of you, for being willing to do what you have done this morning. And now with our grateful hearts, we put our prosperity into action as we circulate our good. Let's take a moment to bring this truth into our hearts as we prepare our offerings and as our ushers come forward. As a reminder, there are many ways to share your gifts with Unity of Wimberley. We're a tithing church. We support our community and beyond in gratitude. You can see where we send our gifts on the Giving tab under Prosperity Consciousness on our website. You can find the details to our payment options on our website and by scanning this QR code on the screen. To our beloved online family, if this message supports your spiritual growth, please consider making us a part of your abundance practice. We thank you for the gifts you have sent already and affirm the gifts you are sending now. And now let us offer this affirmation of abundance. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Come out of the sadness wherever you've been. Come broken hearted, let rescue begin. Come find your mercy, a sinner come kneel. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burden, lay down your shame, and all who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home, 'cause you're not too straight. Come sit at the table and taste of the grace. There's rest for the weary and rest that endures. Earth has no sorrow, but heaven can cure. Well, lay down your burden, lay down your shame, and all who are broken, lift up your faith. Wander, come, come, 'cause you're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are, come as you are, come as you are. Oh, come as you are.
Thank you, Stephanie. And now, with full hearts, let's bless these gifts. Together, we bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. First of all, I want to say today a big thanks to people that have filled in at the last moment to make sure our Sunday could proceed as it needed to. Our friend Ben Pearson was not able to be with the kids because he got sick overnight, so Taylor is back there with the kids. In our bookstore, Sherry Burrows had a health issue this week. She's out. Sharon Criswell took a fall and injured her knee very badly. So Karen Stockey is filling in today. Is there anybody else I'm leaving out, Leah? I mean, and this is what I love about our community. You know, when there's a gap, it just gets filled. And I appreciate it. As most of you know, I'll be retiring soon, with my last Sunday being March 26th. As we all lovingly step into this new chapter, it's also time for us to prepare the way for the next minister for Unity of Wimberley. So each Sunday, we're going to collectively say this affirmation that's on the screen. And I ask you to say it with me now. Put your thought feelings into it so that it has power to it. So let's say this together. God's infinite love and wisdom now guides us to the right and perfect spiritual leader for our community. We let the activity of the one mind reveal this divine appointment as we unite in our gratitude for our new minister. Amen. That's a powerful affirmation. You can view the progress of this search on our website. There's a option on the About page that has ministerial search. And let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, also on the home page. So you don't have to look hard to find what's going on with our ministerial search. The search team actually needs your help with something. They're filming video testimonials that will show potential ministerial candidates why Unity of Wimberley is so special. If you're interested in being part of this, please reach out to a committee member or mail them at the email address search@unityofwimberley.com. I think this would be a lovely reflection of our community to attract that next and perfect minister. A reminder that next Saturday on the 4th is from 10 to 12, our chaplains, all of you chaplains that are in the room, we're meeting for a mini workshop 10 to 12. Next Sunday, March 5th, join us for my talk, Dominion and Non-Resistance. I know that's kind of a big word title, but we're big word people, so we're going to talk about that next Sunday, and it's also Potluck Sunday. Lent, as we've talked about today, it's the perfect time to renew our minds by letting go. We encourage you to read along with the little devotional guide that I read from today, 40 Days of Letting Go. Each day is devoted to letting go with some how-to tips and affirmations that shift our consciousness. You can pick up one of those books in our bookstore, and we have more on order if we run out. We can communally renew our minds. The Wednesday book study, it's time to actually choose a new book, so bring your ideas in a sack lunch. Join us here from 11:30 to 1:30 for this group-directed book study. You're welcome to join the Kirtan Meditation Chanting Group each Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in one of the classrooms right here down the hall to prepare this space for the service, to prepare you for the service. If you have any questions today, you can talk to Michael Finn or Armaya Brielle. We're reimagining our Unity Women's Group in a way that's more inclusive for more of our needs. Look for an email from Leah and fill out an online survey to help us determine what those needs are. One more thing, please be cautious as you roam around our property and trails until we can get more of the down limbs and branches cleaned up from the ice storm. Any volunteer help is always appreciated. Facebook Live, Instagram, TikTok, you can find us in those places. I'm still doing my Facebook Live at 1 o'clock on Thursdays. The crisis bread basket needs are on the screen. You can bring your donations here or mail a gift directly to the address on the screen. For prayer needs, care team needs, and ways to get involved, you can reach out to the emails on the screen. Our chaplain, Michael Finn, will be here today to pray with you after the service one-on-one if you so desire. Our prayer request box and gratitude jar are on the Fireside Room buffet. And if you're visiting us today or have not yet filled out a blue information card, please do so. They're on the front foyer table. We'd like to welcome you properly. Let's sing in our kids.
You are alive. You are alive. You are alive in this world. You are alive. You are alive. You are alive in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright.
Let's bless our kids together. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And that brings us to the close of our service. Please join us as we pray our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I'll release